Howdy gamers, Old Gamer Guy here. Welcome to another Stellaris Console Edition video. It is the year 2219 and the PlayStation Network continues to slowly expand and explore. You can see we're still kind of spread out and fractured in comparison to the other two empires that we have run into so far. I was having trouble deciding what I wanted to do with my construction ship next. I could take over some systems with planets in them. I could take over systems with resources, but one of my subscribers was kind enough to give me some advice that made sense to me. So I'm going to have my construction ship build an outpost in this system. It's got a bunch of resources. One of our science ships has discovered a small aerostat colony floating above the surface of Ashik 4. It appears to have been self-sufficient, and remains from several different species were found on board. As best as we can tell, the colony was some kind of social experiment conducted centuries ago that ultimately ended with the colonists massacring each other. We have downloaded all of the data found in the colony's limited databanks. Intriguing. Meanwhile, on Earth, we're ready to build something new. If you remember, I am wanting to build a bioreactor, but we need higher food output to do that, so I'm building an agriculture district. Our spaceport in our home system has been upgraded as much as it can be for now.
Construction complete.
And now we have a new outpost in this system with all of these lovely resources. So we can get our construction ship started working on some mining stations. Our science vessel has discovered an abandoned solar sail ship in orbit around Ryle Somat 4. The sublight vessel was built by an unknown culture and appears to be several thousand years old. One of the massive sails has a large tear where some kind of object passed through, most likely a meteoroid, which appears to have disabled the vessel. Although the technology of the ship is severely outdated, it does possess some interesting engineering design choices. An interesting, albeit primitive, design.
System survey complete.
Our science ships stayed pretty busy this episode. And here's another discovery. Although toxic to most forms of known life, Teropia 3 supports a thriving ecology within the high pressure of its atmosphere. Life here uses ammonia instead of water as a solvent and has developed in ways that differ significantly from previously established ecological models. Its study would greatly benefit our knowledge of xenobiology. Fascinating.
Construction complete.
Our construction ship has finished building all of the mining stations it can build in this new system. We could build a research station here, but it looks like one of our science ships has found another system with what appears to be 2 habitable planets down this way. And there are also other systems that have decent amounts of resources in them. But I think what I want to do here is have my construction ship build another outpost down here. Like I said, it appears that there are 2 potentially habitable worlds in this system, but most importantly, it is also another obvious choke point to defend our space. We've earned another tradition point to spend We are still working on the prosperity tree. I think we have 3 options here, but I only seriously considered 2 of them. One of them is prefabricated buildings, which would increase the speed at which we build structures, and also it would decrease the cost of those structures. And then the other option I looked at was peak performance, which would increase our complex drone output by 5%. But I believe I went with prefabricated buildings. Yep, I went with prefabricated buildings, and that should help our economy in the long run. One of our science ships has discovered another wormhole. If you remember, in one of the earlier videos, we found a wormhole that was fairly close to our home system. But we have found another one a little farther away, and these wormholes, our scientists speculate, may provide a conduit through subspace to another wormhole located somewhere else in the galaxy. So they're like potential fast travel. If we had the technology to stabilize them, which unfortunately we do not, but it still is an interesting discovery. Here is the newly discovered wormhole. And you can see it's quite a distance from our space. Over here is the other one we discovered, and the problem with these things is that some other empire might get the technology to use them and just jump into our space suddenly.
Construction complete.
But never mind that for now anyway. We have a new outpost, a new defensive choke point. It's got some decent resources here, but I think the main story is that we have 2 potentially habitable worlds down here. So that's good news. We'll get our construction ship working on some mining stations down this way. Unfortunately, the Bok seem to be expanding at an alarming rate. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Looking for another potential choke point. This is an obvious one here, or we could go up this way. I'm not really worried about creating a choke point against the fallen empire because they would just roll over us easily right now if we were to anger them. So hopefully it won't come to that. But once our construction ship finished building mining stations in our brand new system, I thought, well, where to now? So there are 2 systems up here that have 3 different types of resources. But this one would be the cheapest in terms of building an outpost. So we're going to go ahead and build one there. And taking a look at the Bok, their fleet power is still inferior compared to ours, so that's good news. They are making me nervous with their expansion, but fleet-wise, we are still superior. So I feel good about that.
Executing evasion protocols.
But hold everything. Our science ship has encountered hostile aliens. We will categorize them as Delta aliens until we learn more about them, and we'll need to start a special project to investigate the Delta aliens. But before we start that special project, let's take a look. It does not appear that these creatures are another empire. There are several clusters of them around this system, and they are evidently hostile. Our science ship is getting ready to make an emergency hyperspace jump to escape, which unfortunately will mean that they will be lost for a period of time. We'll go ahead and start this special project, and research these creatures, which appear to be made of crystals. So one of our science ships is lost at the moment, but our other ship has made another discovery. Their detailed survey of Beta Hydri 4 has revealed that it may once have supported life in the distant past. There are significant deposits of frozen water at the polar ice caps and beneath the planet's surface. The existence of valley networks suggests that the water may once have flowed freely. Terraforming this planet would theoretically be possible, but we do not yet possess the technology to accomplish this monumental task within a realistic time frame. It is nonetheless fascinating. About a month went by before our missing science ship reappeared in the Alpha Centauri system. They are a little bit damaged, so I'm going to send them to a starbase to repair. But I think this is a good spot to end this video. The last few videos have been a little over an hour of gameplay each. And then edited down, the result has been somewhere between 12 and 15 minutes, something like that. So tell me what you think. I could play for 2 hours, and then if I edited that down, it would probably end up being between 20 and 30 minutes per video. So let me know what you think about that. But we're going to leave off here for now. We'll pick it up here next time. As always, thanks for watching.